So if it's under 30, we need to swab all of them. If it's over 30, then they do a percentage.
Okay, see,
So
that's where
they
I'm
would
not...
have to swab all 17 birds.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna drag 17 birds out to have you folks back there contaminating my property, and to run them out here. I'm still risking, if it is contagious as you say, if it is, and I'm going off of that because I don't know any different. I'm putting each one at risk by coming out and even exposing them to areas out here that they haven't been. There's no traffic. I mean, the backyard, there's nobody back there but me.
And with the testing procedures, like, nothing would be contaminated, like they both stated. They do suit up and go in, and this actual test, the swabs, they're not opened until you're present, and then you actually see them open the actual swab and the test tubes that the swabs go into. They try to do all that to ensure that you feel comfortable with the testing procedures and the biosecurity measures that are taking place. Also, since we are under quarantine, I have a quarantine that I just didn't grab, but basically it says that if you have birds and you fall in the counties of Riverside, LA, and San Bernardino, that diagnostic testing is required. We don't like to be so pushy with that, but basically we just need to swab and make sure that the disease isn't at your home, so we can carry on and go down to Mead Valley.
The paperwork, I mean, I'd appreciate
I'll grab
it
it for you, so just give me a second.
Here's where we run into another issue is when you're demanding entry, and I don't know what this form he's going to grab says, but
it's just a copy of the regional quarantine.
You are going into an area of our Fourth Amendment right in the Constitution of unreasonable search and seizure, demanding entry.
We're not demanding entry.
Okay.
The entry is consent. If we don't want to get to the point where we're demanding entry, we don't want to get the warrant. We don't want to go through and what it's good. The administrative warrant, which is it's an inspection warrant.
Yeah. Do you have a copy of what that looks like? Because in all the warrants I've done over the years, and I've done a lot, I have never seen any such warrant. I've served a lot.
And typically,
do you have a copy of it?
I have copies of ones that have been.
Could you?
Before.
I mean, with blocking out the person's name, could you?
I could give you the California Code of Civil Procedure section that authorizes it.
But I mean, a copy of this warrant that they speak of. Can you email me a copy or text it?
Well, we don't have. There is not a warrant. Like if that was hypothetically, if we went to a house where somebody like flat out denied entry. Or we're being evasive, trying to hide birds, like the fighting birds. Even if we're not, we're food and agriculture, so we're not dealing with anything in the penal code. We're only dealing with the food and agricultural code.
A civil issue, correct?
Yes.
Civil. So there's nothing criminal, but it's still our Fourth Amendment right goes against the unreasonable search and seizure and the probable cause that gets you onto someone's land. And when you mention you do have some sort of warrant,
no. We would have to write it.
Yeah, you have to write it. So
Correct.
can I see what that is? Because I'm not familiar, and I'd kind of like to educate myself on this because I really feel like I'm being violated here. I mean, like I said, I'm being reasonable. I'll give you a few birds.
I just want to make sure that we're we're more than happy to have this conversation, and we're not saying that's the direction that we want to head. You're asking a question, and I want to provide you the answer.
Because I've been threatened. They've tried to bully me and threaten me, and I'm not okay with that. I understand the law. That's the difference here.
You're standing up for your rights, and you're passionate about your birds. Of course, I totally get that. And we are constantly, as a incident response, working on our messaging. And it sounds like somebody who came out or somebody who you spoke with could use help working on their messaging, because that we should be able to talk. We should be able to talk like we are now and have a conversation and explain. And hopefully, when we walk away today, you'll have a better understanding of what we're doing, and so it should not be adversarial in any way.
But so even if a bird tests positive, it doesn't stop there. You guys, if you still have what you say is outbreaks, they come. Oh, we need to retest. It's been 2 weeks. We need to retest because it could come back. That's what I was also told, is that even consenting to a test today doesn't mean that we can't demand another test in a week or a month or whatever date time frame, because this is a changing day by day scenario. It could. My birds could be. I mean, I've been out, this morning cleaning and doing everything. When I go out this afternoon, maybe they're all dead. I mean, it's unlikely because you can see them from the windows and hear them, but it's a very random possibility. Therefore, with the changing on a day-to-day basis, I mean, it doesn't stop there. It's like you allow one test, now, oh, well, we need this, so we'll be back. Where do I draw the line on this? I mean, do I just say, okay, well, then each time you come, bring me that warrant, but understand, I'm going to post at my fence. So you're going to need a deputy to remove my person and place me under arrest, which if you understand that portion of it, we are now talking a 148.9, the obstruction, which would be subjective to boot, because again, this is nothing criminal, and you have no human life being immediately threatened back there. Whether all these birds are sick or not, there's no human life being threatened at all. The people live in the house, and we aren't criminals. I mean, run his plate, run that plate. I mean, it's the same thing you mentioned. We aren't criminals. I don't fight anything. If you look back in my backyard, all my fur animals and dogs, everything has been somebody else's unwanted problem child that I end up with. So I'm not that guy.
No, and we certainly don't think that, and that's why. So to your point, yes, it is a potential that we could come back and want to test again. Understand that the people who are on this incident they're mostly veterinarians from USDA, a lot of CDFA veterinarians. These are people who are passionate about animals and passionate about preventing disease spread and keeping animal and human populations safe. So that is 85% of the people that are responding on this unit is what they're coming out here to do. So it is not our number one goal to come out and harass people or, use aspects of the law that are more intrusive, because the veterinarians, they just want to come out and they want to make sure that your birds are healthy and that other people's birds are healthy and the disease isn't spreading.
But what you have going on in me right over here, I'm going to go out on a limb and say if this disease is this contagious, and you got teams down there today, there's a possibility, probably maybe high, you're going to find some problems. Again, that still doesn't affect me here because I'm more than that kilometer out. So if my birds are negative, which I will assume they are because I don't have anybody sick or dead, whether they're carriers, I would highly suspect that the whole gang is a carrier and I have no symptoms and nobody dead. I would say that's almost near to impossible. I mean, I've put a bunch of carriers, but nobody shows any symptoms, nobody's dead. And I would, like I said, I would call because I get paid. So logically, there's no reason not to call you if I get somebody sick.
And like I said, it goes back to just, there's a property here, there's been positive, so in order to get yours off the list.
But I'm not even going to go off the list. That's the thing, is it doesn't get me off the list. It just means
Well,
I gave
it gets
some
you off
sort
the
of
list this time,
implied
like you said.
consent. And because I had this week, you guys are my 4th visit. 4 in 1 week. 4.
Yeah, so
That's kind of, and I'm getting people at that point. I thought, I'm not even going to answer the door. This is ridiculous. I've got kids. I've got a broken finger child that's needing surgery next week. I don't need this problem. I mean, I've got him sleeping graveyards, and the banging in the door. I don't know. You probably heard dogs barking and ruckusing. So now I'm disrupting, his sleep.
And tell them we're sorry.
Yeah. Well, if he comes up,
we understand graveyard.
If he comes up and comes out, that's going to be your deal too. You guys can deal with that one. But nonetheless, that is intrusive and it is unnecessary, in my opinion. So,
Carrie, this is the quarantine that I was telling you about. So on here.
Okay, I've got. She left the USDA vet. I believe left this one. But again, our dates. You got dates that are. Is this my copy?
This is one that I had. This is when it was actually distributed. So, and it's for LA County, San Bernardino, and Riverside County. And under the quarantine, it states all bird owners should allow diagnostic testing of their birds for VND. So,
and I will, like I said, to comply with this, to be compliant, even though this date is I was back in December, so clearly you have a statute of limits on time, I would suspect, on this whole thing. But to be a good guy,
it hasn't been lifted, so it's just a quarantine for the counties.
Okay, and I am still quarantined, so even if you lifted my quarantine today, I'm not going to bring anything in or out. So
other way, another thing that they want to do is to ensure that all your birds are caged and they're not just roaming around and possibly contain other birds or anything like that. So it's all written on here. I'd be more than happy to give you this if you. I think
I have the one similar. She just left it, but if you want, that's fine. Because what I am willing to do to comply with this, because I am complying, I will give you them. And your vets, whoever, there's no legal reason why they can't take them off my premises and do what they want. According to Mr. Cooney, they were to depopulate my whole group anyway, back in December.